General Sergey Vladimirovich Surovikin, nicknamed General Armageddon, detailing his military career and notable leadership roles, early life, and Soviet service. Born on the 11th of October, 1966, in Novosibirsk, Soviet Union. Early life and Soviet service from Siberian beginnings to Soviet officer. Birth and childhood. Date of birth: October 11th, 1966. Place of birth: Novosibirsk, Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, Soviet Union. Sergey Surovikin was born in Novosibirsk, a key industrial and scientific center in southwestern Siberia. While not much is publicly known about his immediate family background, his early environment likely exposed him to the Soviet military-industrial ethos. Novosibirsk was home to significant Soviet-era defense enterprises, and many Soviet military personnel were based in or passed through the region. Early education likely educated in state-run schools that ideological loyalty, physical endurance, and mathematics common for children tracked toward military careers. His early academic years remain undocumented in open sources, but like many future Soviet officers, likely excelled in subjects tied to discipline and military theory. Military training and commissioning: Musk, Higher Combined Arms Command School, 1983–1987. Surovikin entered the Omsk Higher Military Command School, one of the Soviet Union's top academies for junior officers in the ground forces. It trained cadets for tactical command roles, particularly in mechanized infantry and armored units. Graduation year: 1987. Degree: commissioned as a lieutenant in the Soviet Army branch, Motor Rifle Troops, Mechanized Infantry at Omsk. Surovikin would have received intense instruction in Marxist-Leninist military political ideology, combined arms, tactics and operations, small unit leadership, physical fitness, and Soviet military doctrine. This education was highly ideological, emphasizing loyalty to the Communist Party, along with a strong grounding in tactical leadership training that would be both formative and enduring in Surovikin's later career. First combat experience: Soviet-Afghan War, 1987–1989. After graduating, Lt. Surovikin was deployed to Afghanistan to serve in the waning years of the Soviet-Afghan War, a brutal conflict that had already taken a heavy toll on the Red Army. Role: platoon or company commander in a motorized rifle unit. Combat experience: engaged in counterinsurgency operations against the Mujahideen in difficult mountainous terrain, facing ambushes, IEDs, and asymmetric guerrilla warfare. This early exposure to high-intensity conflict likely hardened Surovikin and began to define his aggressive military doctrine. Many Russian officers who served in Afghanistan later adopted a no-compromise approach to irregular warfare, something that would characterize Surovikin's brutal campaigns in Chechnya, Syria, and Ukraine. There is little detailed open-source information on Surovikin's specific role or decorations during this war, possibly due to the classified nature of operations at the time. Notoriety: in 1991, the August coup attempt. One of the earliest controversies in Surovikin's career came during the August 1991 Soviet coup attempt, when he commanded soldiers involved in the deaths of 3 pro-democracy protesters in Moscow. Context: during the attempted coup against Mikhail Gorbachev, Soviet hardliners tried to restore central communist control. Surovikin, by then a captain, commanded a motor rifle battalion from the 2nd Guards Tamanskaya Division, deployed to central Moscow to suppress demonstrations. Incident: his unit ran over barricades and protesters on Garden Ring Road, killing 3 civilians. Surovikin was briefly arrested and held for several months, but was released after the collapse of the coup. An investigation cleared him, citing that he was following lawful orders under the military chain of command. Despite the tragedy, Surovikin was promoted, not punished, likely due to his loyalty and decisive action under the failed Soviet state's final days. This incident shaped his reputation as an officer who would follow orders, no matter the moral cost, setting a precedent for his future hardline battlefield tactics. Transition to Russian Army 1991 to 1995, following the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Surovikin remained in military service, transferring to the Russian Federation's newly created army. In the early 1999, he began advanced officer training at the Frunze Military Academy Moscow, a prestigious staff college for future generals. During this period, he was briefly convicted of illegal arms trading, though the conviction was overturned. A scandal that lingers in his dossier. Summary timeline: early years. Year event: 1966, born in Novosibirsk, USSR, 1983 to 1987, studied at Omsky Military School, 1987, 1989, deployed to Afghanistan, 1991, led unit during August coup, arrested after deaths of 3 protesters, 1992 to 1995, attended Frunze Academy, briefly convicted, then cleared 1995 onward, entered mid-level command positions in the Russian Army. Legacy of his early careers. Surovikin's Soviet and early Russian years established key traits that would define his entire military philosophy: loyalty to command, above all else willingness to use overwhelming force, comfort with political military crossover roles, survival in chaotic transitions, USSR to Russia. These elements would carry him into wars in Chechnya, Syria, and Ukraine, and into the highest levels of Russia's military command structure. Family members and personal life: wife, Anna Borisovna Surovikina, married to Sergey Surovikin. Anna is a businesswoman owning the Argus group of companies, including Argus Les, operating in wood processing and plywood construction in Russia's Sverdlovsk region. Her businesses include a sawmill and thermal power plant projects. Anna has been sanctioned by the U.S. for her ties to Russian defense-linked entities Argus Holding and its subsidiaries under EO 14024. Children: the couple has 4 children, 3 daughters and 1 son. Other sources mention 2 daughters, but the consensus from authoritative pages is 4. Extended family and connections: they maintain strong ties with Russia's military, security, and business elite networks. Anna often collaborates with other prominent families, including the daughter of an ex-governor of Sverdlovsk. Through joint ventures, there have been allegations of elite real estate holdings, including a villa in Sochi, possibly belonging to Anna or associated individuals in their circle. Public visibility and privacy: the family keeps a low public profile. Despite his notoriety, Surovikin's private life remains shielded, likely for security and personal reasons. Faith and personal details: Sergey Surovikin is reportedly a member of the Russian Orthodox Church, a common affiliation among senior Russian officials. Anna's business ventures contributed a reported 44.2 million ruble income in 2016, including ownership of apartments and a luxury vehicle, highlighting the financial standing of the family. Quick snapshot relationship details: wife Anna Borisovna Surovikina, business owner Argus Group. Sanctioned children for 3 daughters, 1 son. Extended influence connected to elite Russian families via business and politics. Public presence: private, minimal public exposure. Religion: Russian Orthodox. Context and observations: families, business connections, and financial stature suggest influence beyond military circles, aligning his personal life with broader elite networks. Their privacy aligns with common practices among Russia's high-ranking individuals, balancing public personas with controlled exposure. Military training and commissioning history: from cadet to officer. The formative years of General Sergey Surovikin, Combined Arms Command School, 1983 to 1987. Sergey Surovikin began his military career at the Omskaya Combined Arms Command School, one of the premier military academies in the Soviet Union. Enrollment year: 1983. Graduation year: 1987. Location: Omsk, Siberian Federal District. USSR branch focus. Motorized rifle troops, mechanized infantry curriculum, and training focused the Omsk. Military schools specialized in preparing young cadets to lead ground forces, particularly motor rifle infantry and tank units. The Soviet education system at these schools was rigorous, ideological, and highly disciplined. Cadets were molded to follow strict command structures and embrace the Communist Party's values.